Okay, my friends, here it is. The Monday Morning Thrive stream at the Thrive Like a Viking headquarters. We are here with Viking Girlfriend, Camielle.
Hello.
So, guys, how does this sound? Can we get a little bit of feedback? We're using these wireless Rode mics, so let me know how it sounds, if you could, please. Let me do the sound check. Christmas. What do you think? Okay. So we, if you're wondering why I'm dressed like this, it's because I'm had to put together a costume because we're going to for the Christmas Eve party. Now, Camille's got a very cute Mrs. Claus outfit that
Yes.
she's going to wear, and I don't have it. So, do you think will this suffice for a Santa Claus outfit? Or I mean, a Santa Claus in his pajamas. You see, it's got a nice black belt here, my old weightlifting belt. So. Does it give off Christmas Santa vibes at all? All right. Well, just curious about that. Okay, so let's see who's here. Ms. T, hello, my friend. Spawn Viking Grow, Brian Airee, Jamie Copeland, Andre Puskas. Yes. Taida says hello, all. Brian says kind of a pirate Santa.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take it. Not bad. Yeah, I like it. Aaron Johnson, hello, says finally, hello. Yes, hello, my friend. Let's see. Brian Airee says, good morning, Nate, Camille, and Tribe. Much peace and blessings this Christmas season. Yes. Does it feel like Christmas to you guys right now? I mean, does it feel, because we don't have any snow.
No.
It's been several years since we've had snow. Yeah. So guys, we're going to get into the meditation, and then after that, we're going to interview Camille. Okay, so let me know if there's questions that you want to ask her, and we will just, it'll be flow of consciousness, and we'll just see where everything goes. Yeah. Hello, Pan. Good to see you, my friend. Lucia Bora from the Netherlands. Hello. So, let's see here. Ooh, Mom Computer's in the house. Check it out.
Yes, of course.
Yes. Hello. Good.
Hello.
Good to see you guys here. Creative Soil, what's up? Andre says, hi, Camille. Nice to see you finally. Looking forward to hearing about your experiences and the practice you do to improve the balance of your body and mind.
Yes, it's huge. It's amazing.
Yes. Okay. So let us just get into a brief meditation. Okay. And we just got to get the mind right no matter what. That is always first and foremost. So we're going to take 3 deep breaths together and drop into the meditative state of mind. Breathing fully in. Hold. Let it go. Again, fill the lungs. Hold. Let it go. Last one, breathing deeply as you can. Hold. Hold. Let it go. Now immediately drop into the sensation of air as it flows in and out of the body. Deeply relax the hands and the shoulders and the face. The entire body is relaxed. Empty the mind of thoughts. There is no need to think of anything or to plan anything right now. Just a brief 5 minutes. Empty the mind. It doesn't matter what you have coming up the next few days. It can wait 5 minutes. As you breathe in and out, You can simultaneously remain aware of the breathing, but also the inner energy field of the body. Feel the life force circulating through your body, through your blood. No thought, total freedom. If thoughts or images come into the mind, don't follow them, just let them go. This practice will serve you well in every aspect of your life. By now, most of you will have dropped into the meditative state. The heart rate has slowed down. The breathing has become easy yet strong. The mental chatter has subsided. The body and mind is relaxed. And there is a feeling of peace, a feeling of deep satisfaction with all things. When the mind and the subsequent tension the mind creates, when it is put aside or allowed to evaporate, then immediately you will feel what is your natural state. And that is a state of peace, of confidence, and a state of deep gratitude. You are grateful. You are gratitude. Together, let us take 3 deep conscious breaths, breathing fully in. Hold. Let it go. Again, fully in. Hold. Let it go. Last one, breathe deeply as you can. Hold. Hold. Let it go. As you come out of the meditation, remain aware of the inner energy field. And the more subtle your awareness becomes, through the practices it will strengthen, and you will realize that there is actually no difference between what we perceive as the inner energy field and what we perceive as the outer world. It is all the same energy field. Okay, guys. So we have Camielle here, who is also known as Viking Girlfriend. Can you hear us? I have to make sure that we can, because we could go the entire thing not knowing that we're super quiet. You know,
Especially my voice.
Yeah.
So if you can't hear it, let us know.
Yes, let us know. Okay, guys. So I wanted Camille to come on here and just kind of talk for a little bit about really whatever she wants to talk about. But um, in particular, how did you come to the practices? What brought you to the practices?
hmm Okay. So, first off, I'm so excited to be here with all you guys. It's nice to finally meet you. But what first brought me to, I found Wim Hof before I ever met Nate here. And I had done the breathing practices, but just was not ready for the ice. He's just a very inspiring person to listen to. But in all honesty, I also did not practice the breathing every day. And years went by and it kind of went in and out. And I love nature. And it got to the point where I was so miserable in the wintertime. And I thought, how can you love nature yet reject the other part of it, which is the cold and, everything looks dead, but it's very much so alive at that point in time. So I was watching Thrive Like a Viking, like everybody else. And it was last fall. And
That's where you want to look when you look there. Go ahead.
and the classes, he was advertising for the classes. So I was like, I'm just going to do it. I just have to do it. And I'm a very competitive person. And once I signed up, I was like, okay, well, you can't be backing out now. So I will never forget the first day I came, and I was more worried about the sauna, even though I love the sun, I love the heat. I was more nervous about the sauna than I was the ice bath. Um,
And And so she's talking about the classes that I offer. I remember
yes.
telling you guys. So I offer classes to the local people that are contrast therapy. We do breathing, formerly known as Wim Hof breathing, now known as Viking breathing,
Yes.
and because it's a little different. And then we do contrast therapy. We go into the sauna. I got the
hmm
wood-fired sauna, which gets to 220 degrees Fahrenheit, and then we go into the ice. And so I was advertising this, and she hit me
hmm
up.
I
And
sure
so
did. Which, if there is anybody local listening, I highly recommend it. It's just a different experience being in the energy of Nate as well. Um, so that first time, just it radically transformed everything. Like everybody else, winter was terrible, and I was always in pain and had migraines, and my nervous system was out of whack, big time. Um, Especially when it came to driving and just the kids and noise, just everything. And being in the sauna, you have to focus, and then going into the cold, and your body just is in a massive state of shock. Um, it it really made me cultivate a life of being present every single moment. That is probably the most valuable thing in my whole journey. Um, is the contrast therapy and what it has taught me and how it has transformed my body, reconditioning the nervous system, and just being able to take control in any moment by just taking a couple breaths. It's huge. It's so big.
And so, how would you say that the can you elaborate on the experience of the ice? Because I hear you
Mm,
talk about the ice to a lot of people, and you
yes.
extol the benefits of it, of course.
Yes.
So, can you speak to how, like, what is that experience like for you when you go into the ice? How has that helped to retrain the nervous system?
So it is cold, extremely cold, and it really it just comes down to the breath. I have to take control of the breath, and I have to tell my body to adapt immediately. Because if I don't, I'm just gonna do what my body naturally wants to do and shake. So getting in there and just the first couple breaths are really hard, and then it slows down, and I adapt, and this whole wave just comes over the body, because at that point we're here, the body is calm, it has adapted, and it's just going through.
Yeah, and so a lot of people hear about the after, or, they hear from people like us
Hmm.
and that have been doing it for some time. But explain how at first you're not adapted.
Absolutely
Right.
not. Absolutely. Oh my gosh, no. It's get me out of here, and it took quite a few times. And even going from, we were doing it in the summer and going from,
In the chest freezer.
yes, yeah, going for, and you get adapted to that. And then and when the cold is here and doing it outside, it's just a different experience. And it's still difficult, even though we've been doing it. It was really difficult to adapt to it in the first place, because the body is just, it's in a lot of pain. It's just wanting you to get out, and it's telling you to hurt. And it it just took more than a couple times of getting used to that, because it is very painful, to the body at first, but it's all part of the conditioning.
Hmm. Yeah, overriding that instinct,
Mm-hmm.
because your instincts, of course, at first, and when you go into the ice, it's I got to get out of
Mm-hmm.
here. It's like life or death. The body thinks that it's about to die, so it sends all kinds of hormones, adrenaline and endorphins and epinephrine, and endocannabinoids to dull the pain, and the opioids, the natural system that we have signals all that stuff to dull the pain, but it also shoots you with adrenaline to help to give you clarity to get out and to get to safety, and it does all kinds of bodily processes that we normally would never get to experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In your
Mm-hmm.
life previous to ice bathing, did you ever get to experience that kind of bodily processes?
Never. I never exposed myself to it. Never wanted to. And that was another, that was a big challenge, but absolutely not. Who wants to put themselves through, I mean, the cold? It can be very painful, and who wants to be cold and stay cold? So no,
Hmm.
never.
Hmm. And also, how would you say? Because we did it was a big joke. I said, I got a chest freezer in my basement with your name on it.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, that's how does that sound? That's what got her. She's like,
Yeah.
"Ooh,
Yes.
sounds good." Uh, so the we were doing the chest freezer ice bath all summer long,
Mhm.
and um, but now we've started doing the wood fired sauna with the ice bath. The contrast therapy. So explain how that feels. Is it different? How does it?
It's definitely different. And the first few times we got the sauna back up and going and getting back in the ice bath, I felt like it was day one, my very first day, from the contrast therapy. Because it's one thing to go into the chest freezer when it's summer and we're outside in the garden. It's another thing for it to be cold, sit in the sauna. I mean, it gets really hot, and get in there and get sweating. Your body's just completely relaxed, and then to go into the ice, it is like day one for me. And it took a few times to get in control a little bit more. Pretty close to it now, but the pain was still the same. It is the very first class I was ever in. The sauna changes things dramatically. The body needs both.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, the contrast therapy is really intense, and I know Jerry, who is in the chat, he also experiences that. Yes,
Yes.
and we helped make for him a chest freezer ice bath that he didn't get up and running this year, but he will next summer, right?
Yes.
Yes, Jerry. So we definitely will. We definitely recommend that, and there will be a video eventually on how to do that, how to convert that. But instead of getting an ice bath, the commercial ice baths are like they start at like
Mm-hmm.
$5,000 for the proper thing. So for less than like 400, 4 or 500, if you buy a brand new one, all in, it's like 600. You can have an awesome ice bath. Okay, so very important. Aaron Johnson says, "Did you have any negative effects on at first during the season and after?"
I did not have any negative effects. My body responded as most people's body is going to respond in the heat and the cold. But as far as negative effects, no way. It was after the first couple sessions from the very beginning, things just changed for me. And the pain and the migraines was huge at that point in my life, and stress. Um, So they were positive effects. I did not experience anything negative.
Yeah, and it's because you'll feel what might feel like negative experiences
Mm-hmm.
at first, but that is because you're resetting the
Mm-hmm.
body's calibration. Like in our day-to-day life, we're calibrated to such a narrow range of extreme feelings and extreme temperatures. We just have like this dull background sort of stress and sort of anxiety from the modern lifestyle. You know, this inflammation, this chronic sort of stress, but
Mm-hmm.
not that high peak of stress. So what what the contrast therapy is doing is resetting, recalibrating your whole concept of what stress really is, so that when you're in traffic or when something happens in your day-to-day life, it really seems your nervous system, not just your mind.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that oh well, I can just tell myself to relax. It's that your actual nervous system doesn't respond in the same way that it used to before the contrast therapy. So that when things happen, you can just absorb them because that's nothing compared to the ice
Mm-hmm.
and the sauna and what that does to the nervous system. So I just can't speak highly enough of it. It's so important to be doing.
Yeah, it is. And to go back to what he had said in the beginning, it does feel like negative effects on your body, but that is where being present and taking control is so important, because you can let your mind run with, oh my gosh, this hurts, or I can't breathe, or my heart is racing, and you can let your mind run with it, and then your body's going to go, oh my gosh, this is not good. Or you can just take control, and that's what you have to do.
Mhm. That's what you have to do. Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I have to, when I had the students come over and do it in
Yes.
person, that was the very first thing. You have to take control
Mm-hmm.
immediately. Most people are not used to taking control of themselves. They think that they are, but they don't really know what that means until they're in a high stress situation. Like truly, not just mental, but like nervous system stress, like the ice, like
Mm-hmm.
falling into an icy river is maximum stress, for the nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
So when you learn to take control in those situations, then wow, it shows you what you're capable of, and that's a self-perpetuating belief. It's self-reinforcing. So you go, wow, well, I can do that. If I can submerge myself to the neck
Mm.
in ice willingly, that's the important part. Willingly, falling into an icy river is one thing, but doing it willingly is another thing entirely, and that's where the reconditioning comes into play. So. That leads into Jerry's question. Jerry says, how long is too long in the sauna? Now, I'm going to give my experience on that, and it 100% depends on the feeling. The time does not matter at all. All that matters is how you feel in the sauna. So sometimes it's 15 minutes at 220 degrees, maybe even 20. But sometimes at 220, and we got a thermometer in there. So sometimes with the same temperature, everything's like the same. It feels so much hotter, and you can only be in there 10 minutes, you know, because you start to feel a little bit. You can just tell, and the more you get used to it, you do not go from a clock. Maybe at first you might need to, because the body's going to want to get out immediately. Okay. Remember this. If you've read the book Winter Swimming from Susanna Soberg, she explains the dynorphin effect. Yes,
Mm.
which there's endorphins. There's also dynorphin, which is the sensation you get when you go into the sauna. It's a chemical released in the body that makes you feel uncomfortable, like, oh my God, I gotta get out. I gotta get out. And so this dynorphin, the more it's circulated through the body, it makes you more sensitive to endorphins as well. So when you're out of there, so smaller things, your nervous system gets accustomed to smaller things bringing a greater amount of joy in your life, if that makes sense. And this is a chemical process. Yeah. So what would you say as far as sauna limits? How long is too long? What do you think?
I would absolutely agree. You have to listen to your body. And that's the other thing that being in the contrast therapy does, is it teaches you how to be in your body so you can read your body more and respond. So it really is what you're feeling. Because we've been in the sauna, and last night was hot. Hot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the rounds were real short. It was like,
Yes.
oh, okay, I'm already ready to go back in. Whoo, and then we go into the ice, one at a time. and it's but the thing is, if we were looking at a clock, then you would overdo it. You tend to overdo it or underdo it. My 10 minutes is up. No, you got to go until it's really uncomfortable, and then a little bit further. That's where all the magic happens, and then you go into the ice. Okay. So Daniel Henry says, by take control, do you mean calm your mind? Calm your mind, yes, that will happen. But also, well, what does that mean for you? You answer that question.
To take control for me is it all comes down to that breath, just the breath, because it's an instant after training the body, it instantly, my nervous system just is immediately calmed. That's what taking control means for me. Because even though there might be mind chatter, the breath just gets you back into tune and in alignment with all that is. That's what taking control is for me.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it right there. So by taking control, you more so just the body wants to get out. I mean, many people that have come over, they just want to get out immediately because that's the sensation of the body. But you got to take control, and you got to say no, stay put. Have you felt those effects in your life? Has that bled? Can you think of any examples how that bleeds over into your life, into other things?
In stressful situations, people, places, things, absolutely, and you just want to leave. I was highly sensitive to those things prior to contrast therapy. Very sensitive to just everyday life, and I just wanted to leave and stay in my peaceful kingdom at home. But you can't live life that way, and so that is where taking control of myself, my nervous system, has played such a big part, because I can play in this field and be completely fine and not overwhelmed. That's really that's been huge for me with just different people and work situations in life, that it's made things more peaceful and more present.
Okay, let's shift gears a little bit. So there's some thoughts. If you have any more questions, we can do that. Jerry, at 160 seems like you never get too hot. I need to reshape my wood for more heat. Oh yeah, and you got them rocks on there, definitely. At 160, I would just get out.
That's not.
No, it's well, it just depends. I mean, everybody's different, of course. You ease into it, but you don't have to go to 220. But so I wanted to shift gears a little bit. Okay, so I want to give let's answer this question real quick. Living Natural says, how long does the effect last after this ice therapy? And thanks for this information. Go ahead.
That is a really good question, because the way my body feels from the ice back to the sauna, that's amazing. As far as everyday life, I have not gone back. It has only progressively gotten better. And there has been no going back.
Yeah, it's how long does it affect, or how long does the effect last? We only do it in the evenings, because if I do it in the daytime, my day is just kind of, I'm so deeply relaxed. I mean, you sleep deeper, you wake up more refreshed. So it really, I would say, to varying degrees, one session can last 24 hours. I mean, you can feel the after effects.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you feel just deeply relaxed. I mean, way more than just doing the ice or the sauna, the contrast.
That's important. The contrast is so important. And I came to that realization when we finally got it back up this winter to have both. But I would agree as far as the 24 hours in the ice and the sauna.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course, if you guys are hungry for more of this knowledge, research Dr. Susanna Soberg, of course, follow her on Instagram and get her book, Winter Swimming. She talks about all of this and the physiological effects. Also, research the Huberman Lab podcast. Just write Huberman Lab sauna or Huberman Lab contrast or cold training. He talks at length about all of it. Really good information. But you don't need any of that information. You can just do it, and you'll know firsthand, and 1,000 times more impactful than any book could possibly be.
You will learn way more from the experience than the book and the podcast.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep. So, okay, I want to shift gears a little bit, and I want to get your thoughts on living the garden lifestyle, living the garden like a Viking lifestyle. So what are your thoughts? You know, what were your, what kind of visions did you have, or like, you know, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I did not have a garden in my backyard, and I was not growing my own food, and I was going to the store and buying organic and trying to do my best. But there was so much resistance within me because my plan was to buy land and grow my food and preserve my food and teach that to my daughter and build that lifestyle. And so I had my own idea on how that was going to happen. And it was really difficult. It worked for me in that time. And then coming here and having my first season in the garden, my gosh, my world had changed after that. It was a different experience to be able to go in the backyard and just get stuff for dinner as he prepares the best meals ever. It's a completely different relationship with the food. I personally cannot go back, and having to go to the store and buy those same things that we grow in the garden. It's so different. You can have a beet from the store and a beet from the garden, and you can just feel the life force energy in the food that is grown in the backyard. So my vision didn't manifest as I had intended, but you know, the universe had other ways, and this is a much better way because I'm getting it all firsthand, and pretty lucky because, you know, years ago I was, you know, sitting down taking notes from this guy for when I did get the land and was going to have my garden, but I think this is a lot better.
Right to the source.
Yes.
So it's the gardening lifestyle really is a fantastic thing, and the body will actually become accustomed to the nutrient density of the stuff that you grow yourself. This is a real thing. I mean, this is absolutely real. And so to feel, to have the experience of, you know, when she first came here, it was January 8th of last year. It was, look, I've still got the,
still this
still
year.
got the class schedule. You know, Camielle is on there. And so it would, oh no, it was this year. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It was this year. So coming up on 1 year. But I was completely professional, by the way.
He absolutely was.
Yes.
He was very professional.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
It wasn't till later.
Yes.
Yeah. That she signed up for the advanced class.
Yes.
Which
I had to.
She's still in.
Yeah. I might not graduate. We'll see.
We'll see.
Yes.
So when she came, and I was like, man, it's hard to envision right now because the ice bath is out in the garden. And I was like, man, it's hard to envision right now, but this whole thing is going to be exploding with life. And she was like, oh, okay, yeah, I that'll be cool. But she couldn't, there's no way that she could get it until she had experienced it. And then come springtime, the first things start popping up, and I'm like, all right, it's on. And we start cooking from the garden. And then as the spring and summer is here, literally every single meal is like, we just think, okay, well, what's ripe? What's available in the garden? And then we base the meal off of there. A meat, of course, a meat-based. But then what is available in the garden? You know, what kind of fresh greens, stir fries, the chives, the chive blossoms.
Gosh, I can't wait for those. I love those.
She loves fried chive blossoms. Just so many things. And then the cabbages and, yeah, see, they thumbs up for us. And so just having that access, it's a whole different way of living, to be able to just know that you are the health of yourself and of your loved ones starts in the soil. That's how from scratch you have to cook. That's how from scratch the things that go into your body have to be. If you want to really thrive and feel just how the human being is supposed to, just full of the nutrients that it needs. And so that was a wonderful experience.
Yeah. That really was. And to not go off on a side moment, but the food from the garden altered my body along with, the kettlebells and the contrast therapy. I couldn't gain weight forever, which is partly the food. If there's no nutrients in the food at the store that you're buying, no matter how organic or how healthy you are, it's not going to do a whole lot. And I feel so vibrant. I do. And you can feel the life force in the food when you're eating it. It's such a different appreciation, especially being out there and picking all the chamomile flowers. It is a beautiful energy. It's a communion. It is.
Yeah, it is a wonderful experience. So let's see. So yeah, the new channel is going to have all kinds of, the Cook Like a Viking will have all kinds of different stuff because we cook from scratch all the time, and it's really a passion. It's really the focal point of my life. I mean, is the food and the growing of the food and the sharing and the preparing and the different flavors, all that kind of stuff. And so, yes, once we get the lighting right in the kitchen and all that stuff, because this is still a real small place for now. But yeah, we will get that. So yes, Andre, glad that you are looking forward to it. So let's see here. What do you think about the ferments?
They're so amazing. I can't wait until next year when you guys get a little bit more on those. They're so good.
What about the meals we've been having recently?
I don't think there's a meal that I have ever been dissatisfied with. Ever. They're very simple. They're very clean. And you're not weighed down and heavy the next day. It's just amazing.
Yeah, and so like she said, there were several years that she couldn't gain weight. Some people struggle with that as well. That she was, and so once we got together and started doing all the practices and stuff, she's gained a very good 10 pounds.
Yes.
A very needed 10 pounds.
Yes.
Of quality muscle and subcutaneous fat in a good way. Absolutely. So. Let's see here. What you guys talking about? So yes, Graham. Oh yeah, having a sauna with nothing on but the music. Pretty much. Yeah, it's So guys, let's see. Jerry Bates says you might build set type kitchen that would be easy to film in. Oh, absolutely. When we get the land, for sure. It'll be all focused on that. That'll be easy to film in. But for now, we can't do any of that, because it's just got a tiny 100-year-old house with these were like smaller quarters. Yeah.
Aaron, with doing the kettlebells every day.
Go ahead.
We did not start with the kettlebells every day. When I first started, I was doing, he had showed me the basics of what I needed. And then I would be at home and I would work out to a couple videos, and I tried doing it 4 or 5 times a week. And then we decided that I was going to do it here. And that was such a big game changer for me. I was building a little bit of muscle, but it just was not the same. And we're, I know I said before, but 3 times a week, and it has drastic changes to my body has happened. I couldn't do it every day. I don't think it's good to do that, a hard kettlebell workout every single day.
No. And what were your thoughts on, because at first I met a lot of resistance as far as she wanted to go to the gym. She kept going, well, I'm just going to go to the gym. She didn't understand what kettlebells were.
Oh my gosh.
And so explain a little bit the difference between like gym and kettlebell training, how we do it and stuff.
I'll never go back. I have no reason to ever go back to the gym. I was in the gym, essentially from high school on. I spent a lot of time in the gym, and you work set parts of your body, and my arms were always, pretty fit from the gym and my type of work. The lower body, girls are always about the, the behind, and they are, especially being small like me, but your body is built so differently in the gym. And the results definitely took a lot longer. And I was at the gym for an hour to an hour and a half sometimes.
When did the results take longer?
It just took longer to build muscle. Yeah, in
Right.
the gym. Yeah. So when we did the kettlebells, that's no joke. That was no joke. You can go to the gym and, do all this weight and you get a kettlebell. And when he's like, here's a 10-pound and a 15, I was like, you're kidding me.
Right. She's like, 10-pound kettle, 15-pound kettlebell. What's this?
Yeah.
Don't you know I'm strong?
I was not at all, because the supporting muscles, that's been so huge. It's functional. I can use it in my everyday life. I can't quite keep up all the way with him when we're doing work, but way more than I used to be able to. You have that strength, and the muscle mass came on fast, and it feels good and energizing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. And what she's talking about really is in the gym, you are separating the body into different parts. So you go for your back or your ass day, where you're doing all your squats and all the different things. Then you go for shoulder day, and then you go for arms and chest day and stuff like that. And I did that way for years as well. But back, I used to be really into bodybuilding in my teens and early 20s before I left for traveling. But even then, throughout the world, I would still, whenever I would find a gym, I would hit it up, but I'd be doing the bodybuilding split. And I just noticed over time, even when I was in my early 20s, that my physique was becoming very lopsided, and I was prone to injury, and I herniated a disc, lifting incorrectly, because when you split the body into different parts, the body is not split into different parts. It's one unified whole. And so when you're sitting down doing shoulders in this movement, and then you're on a bench laying down doing chest in this movement, you're not, all those other muscles that you need to actually function in your day-to-day life aren't getting that work. And so kettlebell training is, every exercise is full body. Every exercise is full body. You don't split any body parts into anything. You just do a variety of good workouts, which of course I've made for her.
Yes. Yeah. They're amazing. Mm-hmm.
How do you feel like the workouts are?
They're challenging. You can go to the gym and work out. I have never felt as challenged as I do here with the kettlebells. I just don't.
Yeah. Mm-mm. About like cardio, like yesterday.
There is serious cardio in the kettlebells. You might not think so, but I don't need to spend a half an hour running on the treadmill after working out for an hour at the gym. And the injury aspect of it, that's really big. I was in so much more pain going to the gym, just living life, because you are separating the body. And in the kettlebells, with it being the full body, you don't have that. You just, the aches, the pains, they're just not there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and how long are the workouts compared to the gym?
Half an hour is a pretty good workout.
Yeah, I mean, if you can go longer than a half hour, you're not doing it intense enough, really. And so you got to drive to the gym, and then you're spending a long time the cardio machines, and then you have your long workout. And I used to be there like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Mm-hmm. And just insane, and just obliterating body parts like shoulders. Yeah. But now everything is full body, and it just translates to so much better, the core stability, everything. It's been a solid 2 years that I've been just on kettlebells now, because I was still going to the gym before that. But I was like, man, I got back to the gym 5 years ago after traveling and all that stuff 6 years ago, and was like, whoa, this is not like it was in my early 20s. And so the joints and stuff, it just like aches and back pains and stuff. Once I got to the kettlebells and simultaneously started hyperbolic stretching, or isometric stretching, then they all just went away. The body feels like a unified whole,
Mm-hmm.
and you feel so capable because it's the core. All the kettlebell stuff's the core.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. I would agree absolutely with that. And I have never seen somebody, the strength that comes with it. And you do need all those supporting muscles and core muscles, my lands, to really get stuff done. And there are times, and I'm not biasly saying this, but there are times I see him move things and I'm just like, I know it's from the kettlebells and his training because it just blows me away. It is so functional in everyday life. And even in my job, having to stand on ladders and kind of, in the basket of some lifts, in a position for a really long time prior to kettlebell training, I would have to keep stepping back and taking a break because my body was just too contorted and didn't have the strength to hold itself the way that it needed to and the position it needed to. I mean, oh my gosh, it has changed everything.
Mm, mm.
I think we really started with the 15, the 10 and the 15 is kind of where we started.
Yeah, at first,
Mm-hmm.
it's super important that you get the form down. That's what's most important, the form. So it's going to feel really weird at first that you're not like getting this heavy. It's just you have to learn the form beyond all else. Kettlebells
Mm-hmm.
are a form thing because otherwise you can hurt yourself. And at first, you will have muscles that haven't been used
Mm-hmm.
all up along the spine and all different kinds of places in the shoulders. So you got to bring those up.
Mm-hmm.
So she started with a 10 pound, then the 15 pound, and then a 20 pound. I mean, fortunately, I already had the whole entire set. I've got tons of kettlebells because I've been into it, And but now she is. She advanced really fast, and for swings, she's using the 52 pound.
Mm-hmm.
And you've done for deadlifts the 72 pound. Okay, the real heavy one. And for swings, yeah, she's doing the 52 pound. Like yesterday, she did double squat thrust, and she's using the 27 pounds, two of them. So she's lifting 54 pounds overhead, over and over. And it's a structure, but
the form is important.
Yeah,
That's so important.
Mm-hmm.
That changes it. You can't properly do the move if you don't have the form down and the breathing that goes with it. That's a big part of it.
Yeah, the breathing. What's your
Yes.
experience with that?
Well, if I'm just letting all my air out when I'm trying to do something real heavy and exerting, it's really hard to have the energy to finish the move. And so that I'm trying to be more conscious on, is the breathing while I'm trying to exert so much energy and force, because it makes it so much easier to do, because it is so difficult some days.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so amazing. I would never turn back ever.
Yeah, and there is what is the Pavel Tsatsouline is who schools me on all this stuff through his books and seminars. But the it's IAP, intra-abdominal pressure, right? Is that when there's the pressure on the abs, the core, and the lungs, you have such a higher percentage of strength capability than when it's exhalation. The body naturally, there's sense receptors and things that relax during that time. So it's so important to get the breathing right. So we under tension, then no tension, then tension. Like that. So breathing, super important. Okay.
Yeah.
Graham says, I've got kettlebells, don't really know what to do with them. I've got a 16, a 20, and a 24. That's a good spread right there. That's a good spread. You definitely can learn. Look up, the first thing you need to learn how to do with them, look up Enter the Kettlebell by Pavel Tsatsouline. It's a YouTube video, several years old now. He's the godfather of the American way of doing this, okay? He comes from Russia. He used to train Russian special forces. He's the man as far as kettlebells go. So what he says is the way. And so the Enter the Kettlebell it's a you can just look it up on YouTube. Follow it. Learn every movement there over and over. Use that 16 at first, because even that's quite a bit to start with. So, yes. Jerry says, I'm glad you're presenting the female point of view. So much good energy from you folks. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, let me know if you have other questions specifically for her. Teeth says, you mentioned the grow tent steam room. Can we do grow tent sauna? Proper sauna, I wouldn't do it because they're not designed to take those kind of heat, that kind of heat. You know, you can, the best, I mean, even right there where you're at in that backyard, I've seen it because we've done consultations. In that backyard, you could definitely have a Mortz cube, okay? Morzh. It's a Russian company, and they have a branch in Florida. You can get the Mortz Walrus Cube with the Intent stove. It'll be about $1,000, you know, all in, but worth every dime because that's a small one for 2 to 3 people. Okay, and you'll have the wood stove in there. It will change your game, dude. I would highly recommend you getting one. You would love it, especially after work. Come home, fire that thing up. Whoa, pour the water on those rocks. What do you feel like when the water goes on the rocks?
Oh my gosh, brace yourself and breathe. It's amazing.
So, let's see here. Taida says, my personal trainer's given me, or maybe physical therapist, has given me the green light to get started with a kettlebell. The hope is it will stabilize my joints. What's your experience with that?
Oh my gosh, yes. I would have knee pain, hip pain, back pain. I have none of that pain anymore. My knees would pop every time I'd bend over. My body was not, it just wasn't loved the way it should be. The kettlebells changed and strengthened all of that. There is no pain, there is no popping, and it is just it's so energized all the time.
Yeah, Taida, learn the Turkish get up. Very important for stabilizing the shoulders. Super important. Turkish get up. Even if you just learn swings, if you learn kettlebell swings, kettlebell clean and press, and the Turkish get up. Those are the 3 things you need to perfect first. Yes?
I will confirm that big time.
Cleans, we're still working on.
Yes, we are.
Yes. Let's see. The Graham says, what weights do you use and for what exercise? Well, don't compare yourself to me though.
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
as far as because the weights, you know, I was lifting for years before I came to kettlebells, and I was like, 35 pounds? What? I mean, that's a joke. No, not with kettlebells. It's totally different because the weight of it, the ballistics add so much more weight. The swinging force makes it like multiplies the force big time. So for Turkish get-ups, at the moment, I'm doing the 35 pounds. For like double overhead presses, I'll use a 52 pound in each hand. But then when I do the heavy single complex, I'll use a 72 pound. And that will be, you have to get it down, you have to clean again, like that. And it really, the whole body is feeling it. When you go heavy with a kettlebell, only after your form has gotten good, that's the way to do it. So if you're trying to build muscle with it, you got to go heavy. But only once your form is perfect. Yes. So let us see here. Oh yeah, Sam says, I've got a 45 pound and it's way too heavy for me right now. Yeah, just do double hand swings with that. Just do double hand swings. Learn to do those perfectly. And that's going to be good. Yeah. I want to get somebody else's perspective real quick on the sauna. Why don't you come in here? Let's see. We got another cold trainer here. Let's see here. Here we go. Go ahead and have this. Hey, so what's your name?
Tegan.
Oh yeah? What are you doing here?
waiting to do something.
Oh, waiting to do something. So do you do cold training?
Yes.
Like what kind?
Like ice bath and sauna.
Oh yeah. What's your experience? How does it make you feel?
The ice bath I like when after the sauna, but the sauna's like super hot.
Oh yeah. How does it feel inside your body in the sauna?
Warm.
It feels warm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we do 3 different levels, right? What's the top level?
The hottest one.
Mm-hmm. And then the middle level?
The cool but still hot.
Right. And then where do you like to spend most of your time?
The floor because it's cold.
Yes. And so there's different levels to the sauna. So the top level is the hottest, and then the middle level is the medium, then the bottom, the floor is virtually like cool, you know. But so with her we structure it, okay? So you don't just have the youngins go in there and just make them stay in there the whole time. We structure it. So 4 minutes, the first 4 minutes on the top rack, okay, the hottest part, and have a timer there for them so they can actually see when they're done. Then the next 4 minutes is in the middle rack and have the timer there. And then the final 4 is on the floor if they want. So that's a good 12-minute round for them, and where they see the timer so that they know when they're done. Okay. And then after that, they can go into the ice. Now, how do we do the ice?
You'll fully get in, and I just put my 2 legs in it. And
That's
then
right. And how does it feel when you put your legs in?
freezing.
Oh, yeah? But you do it anyways, right? What do? Do you take control of the mind?
Yes.
How do you do that?
By breathing.
Yes. You see, she says she takes control of the mind by breathing. And this is very good, right? And so then after those 12 minutes, we will go into the ice. I will go in fully to the ice, submerged to the neck. I'll go in for 2 minutes. And then during that time, she will sit on the edge and put both of her legs in for as long as she can. There's no need, you don't have to go all that long at first. It's a build-up thing, So the most important thing, because how old are you?
9.
9. The most important thing is that they have a positive experience. You don't want them to feel like you got to stay in there. The Russian kids do it all the time. You want them to just have a nice positive experience so that they can build up. So that by the time she's 12, you think you'll be sauna and ice bathing longer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Is it something you want to continue doing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Get this, guys. What do you eat for breakfast sometimes?
Beef liver, raw beef liver.
For real? Do you like the flavor of it?
No.
No?
I still eat it though.
She does it anyways. No, why do you do it even though you don't like the flavor?
Because it's a vitamin and it helps your body stay healthy. And from not getting sick.
And from not getting sick. Yes, exactly. So she's literally eating raw beef liver. So for any of you guys that are like, oh, that's a gross, I can't possibly do that. The 9-year-old girl is doing it in the morning.
Yes.
Yes? Do you like it with maple syrup?
Yeah.
How about salt?
No.
No. She likes it with maple syrup, but no salt. Yeah. Look, she says, what a cool Viking kiddo. Wise.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize you're wearing your Viking vest, huh? So, yes, Aaron Johnson says, oh my gosh, that'll be so good for her, especially in these times. Absolutely. And when they start at this age, that will set them up for the ability to control their mental and emotional energy field throughout their life, because they'll know right now at a very impactful time in their life that they can take control. That even though they're hot in the sauna, they can just breathe and take it. And that then in the ice, they have control over that. So it will prime them to have success.
It's one of the best tools you can teach the children.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
On what?
On doing it with the young.
I really do think it's one of the best tools that you can give children. Because personally, I didn't have these things, and they didn't come to me until later in life, and life experiences would have been so different. So most kids being in school and the overstimulation and the not being able to just, be present with themselves or even identify their emotions, because that's hard for adults to do sometimes. it is really it's really good for her, any child, in my opinion.
Can you read that? Read that out loud.
Tegan will be a master of all these
Practices
in a few years.
Yes.
That's right. Tegan will be a master of all these practices in a few years. Yes, but the most important thing to master is yourself, of course.
Yes.
Because when you master yourself, you've mastered everything.
That's what these practices teach.
It is. So can you leave with some... Ooh, Aaron Johnson says, my daughter is 17 and lost in the social media. I have to take it away. Wish I would have known about this when she was young. What are your thoughts on social media and kids?
That is really tough. And that alters the rest of their life when they get lost in that. They become identified with whatever platform that they are on and the things that they are seeing from it. And that is definitely something that they have got to detox from big time.
Yeah. How much screen time does Tegan get?
I don't get a lot, but sometimes I will ask to watch TV, like on Wildcatch, which is like teaches you about animals and like what kind of animals.
Very good.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Definitely. Jerry says embracing the natural forces is becoming more distant for people all the time.
Yes.
It absolutely is. Now, but there is also a fine balance between like the children have to be literate. The children
Yes.
the children have to be literate in the technology that is dominating our world and will even much more here in the near future dominate our world. And so it's very important that they also have reasonable exposure. Can't just lock them up and have them know technology. It'll be like they're almost illiterate if they don't know how to use ChatGPT, other AI platforms by the time they're in their teens. You know, they need to be able to speak that language as well. So that's the tricky part, yeah?
Yeah, it absolutely is, because I was definitely one of those. We don't need TV and we don't need video games and we don't need this. But they do, especially with AI coming, and they need to learn how to use it and not let it use them in the improper ways.
Absolutely. So, guys, if you have any burning questions for Viking Girlfriend or Young Viking here, then Young Viking Shield Maiden, then let us know. Taida says, we love Wildcrats. Is that the one you were talking about? One of our shows we allowed. Now my kids are adults and we still like it.
You learn a lot from them.
So are there any parting thoughts that you can give to people if they're contemplating practices or they don't have time for it or it's too difficult? What are just some words of keep your head off the mic, words of encouragement to people?
Everybody has found this platform. Everybody has found Nate for a reason. And I know it has been said, but you can read and read and watch and watch and watch. And it is so difficult sometimes to force yourself to do something that you don't want to do, but you really have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable to transform your life. And you just have to do it. And once you do it and you get past it, your entire life will change. And all these things that you were trying to make happen in your life, they just happen effortlessly. It just is. You have to go by experience. You have to experience it. That is the real teacher.
Yeah, very well said. Do you have anything you want to say to the people? How about Merry Christmas?
Merry Christmas.
And a Happy New Year.
And a Happy New Year.
Okay. Okay, guys. Well, thank you very much for hanging out. This was the first interview with the Viking Shield maidens, and probably not the last. So we can definitely, if you've got topic ideas or if you've got other people that would like to be interviewed, if one of you wants to be interviewed, not in person, I mean, maybe if you get here, but we can do it. I can just invite you and we can do it virtually. So if one of you feel like you have something you want to say, then we can do that. Or if you just want to be interviewed and you're comfortable with that, let me know. The tribe would love to hear that. So Ms. T, Aaron, Taida, Graham, Silver Sage. If any of you guys want to, Sam, if any of you guys want to be interviewed, let's do it. Okay, so we can all learn from that. Pam, if you want to be interviewed, all that kind of stuff. So just let us know. And we wish you guys a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And we will be right here at the same time. Wait, let me just check real quick right now so that I know if we're going to do the one next year or next, let's see. Okay, yeah. So Monday, yeah. So we'll be right here next Monday at the same time. And thank you guys. Infinite Spirit goes before me and opens the way. Infinite wisdom tells me what to do and what to say. Infinite Spirit goes before me and opens the way. Infinite wisdom tells me what to do and what to say. Infinite Spirit goes before me and opens the way. Infinite wisdom tells me what to do and what to say.